What up, everyone? It's your boy TRES, and today we will be making a music video review to SB19's Damn. Now, before we get to that, I just want to give a huge shout out to all y'all, and thank you so much for all the kindest and the nicest words and the support, subscriptions, the love, man. I so appreciate you guys. So, shout outs to Cheryl Gregorio, Yasi D, Fan Heartbeat, Stelzone, Diane Dongalo, Sherilyn Pama, Sheila May Doronilla, Rosalina De Capia, Sophia Smith, KLski PH. Subscribe to his channel too, man. He has a lot of SB19 content. I know you guys would enjoy that. So KLski PH, Erica Nicole, Juliet Como, Mads with the triple Z, Judy Lozano, Jing Bacaresa Susan, Chris Adden, Eileen Yu, Maria Maris, Busy B for his PH, Rochelle D, Gunblade YM, Lola Atin, Maria Almira Presto, Mary Grace Tiozon, sorry, Camille Delfin, hi Camille, Aizen Trinidad Hogart, Amazon Gelled Sushi, Mindless, Mizil, Momoring Gaming, and Cece. Thank you so much, guys. And now, let's get to the review of what you guys came here for. Hey,
Ano bang pakiramdam? Dati lang, payapa, malaya at puno ng pagmamahal ang lahat. Naglaho ng dahil sa makamundong kasakiman. Paano po ba iingatan ng kahiwagaan kung ang kapaligiran na ang kalaban? Paano ba hihigitan pa ang dulo ng kabutihan? At paano ba wawakasan ng isang bagay na hindi naman nagawang simulan?
so this first frame is the central theme of the entire story. Okay, that tree and this book holds a key component on how the heroes SB19 will overcome later.
Ano bang pakiramdam?
There, as you can see in here, the second frame, there is a force field around the castle, right? So that represents imprisonment. Okay, that force field, which is the central problem of the story. So the first frame represents the central theme of the story. Now we are introduced right away to the central problem of the story, because that force field represents imprisonment, which we will talk about specifically for each of our heroes in a while. I also love the irony of what a fortress is. This is a fortress, right? Fortress is built to protect the people inside from any external harm. Here, they are the one held captive by which was supposed to protect them. Details, man. Okay, let's go.
This is ugly, but alam mo naman na me like it. Then again, cause I might see kahit na ano pa yan, come bite me. What you gonna do, Joe, pag may dumating na maitim na ulap ako kikiligin?
So here, as we can see, I told you earlier that the central problem of the story is imprisonment. So we are introduced to the first prison that our heroes SB19 are talking about in here, which is riches and wealth. Let me just fix this.
Tutok sa positibo ay baka lang paparning. Kasi pag reality
So this guy right here, it's the good-looking Super Saiyan guy. I know that you guys, already shared detailed information about these folks, who is who, but I mean, you don't expect me to memorize and get that in just what, a couple of days. Especially, man, how they change how they look. I mean, in two different videos. Dunka, they look a certain way, and damn man, they look a certain way. So I can't even see who the good looking samurai guy in this video anymore. So anyhow, so this good looking Super Saiyan guy is obviously restrained in his powers, right? So the first person is riches and wealth. So this him being restrained of his power is a representation of his god-given talents or gifts. Okay, so point is that pinunulang sila ng material wealth. So all of these are represented as a whole, as a group. These speaks to SB19 as a whole, not individually. Okay, so pinunulang daw sila ng material wealth. But the con is that they cannot do what they are gifted to do or what they really have in their heart. So the internal conflict is that how would you feel in that dilemma? Meron kang lahat ng material possession pero hindi mo magawa yung talagang gusto mong gawin. Right? So that's the first reason, which is supported by his own lyrics. As he said, this is ugly, but alam mo naman that me likey. Then again, because I'm icy, icy is a term in hip hop, being flashy, drip, and looking fresh and cool and all that. Kahit ano pa yan, come bite me. So the good, the bad, kahit ano pa yan, he welcomes it. What you gonna do pag may dumating na maitim na ulap, ako kikiligan. So dark clouds, we already know that it represents negativity or, darkness, some sort. Pero siya daw kikiligin. Sabi niya, kung tutok sa positibo, baka lang mapraning. So if you're a positive person, yeah, man, you're just gonna lose your mind kasi pag realidad na ang parang agad nagising. So, I know that this seems like such a negative rhetoric from our guy right here, but you have to understand this is coming from a corrupted version of this guy. So this is what the corrupted version of this guy feels, and so this is what he is expressing. You know what I mean? So this is the first the prison. Next.
Tandaan harang agad nagising.
Anong pakiramdam Pumanik sa walang hanggang hagdan Di ba sa kadamdam Ang katapusan ang lahat na isinimula Dito sa hindi po lahat tinipon Kahit hindi ka nagtatigo.
Sure. Okay. And here, the second person that we are introduced into is the endless striving for greatness, or they call the performance trap in psychology. As as a whole, as SB19, this is being represented that SB19 is being poised to do great things, and in doing so, they are forced to work tirelessly to keep that prominence and relevance of consistently being number one. So, you know, this is not always what obviously they're trying to say is that, I mean, this is not always about being number one, but genuinely loving what you are doing. I mean, that's the dilemma, not just doing it for vanity metrics. Because the question is, how would you feel and what would you do when you are considered to be the best, yet deep inside you are dying because you know this is not what you wanted to do? You will always feel unfulfilled, right? Because again, no, it's not just about being number one, it's making valuable and meaningful impact. So it is supported by our guy right here. So you have to listen to their lyrics and watch the video, man. It just a masterful storytelling. The lyrics coming from our good-looking guy in here is that says, "Nausan, anong pakiramdam? Pumanik sa walang hanggang hagdan." So again, that is the never-ending striving for greatness, the GOAT debate. Sino nga bang number one? Who's number one? And why you have to keep it in there. Sabi niya, di pa, di pa sa padamdam ang katapusan ng lahat ng iyong sinimulan. Never ending. Dito sa akin, di po lahat inipon kahit nung digmaan. I doubt that di ko kayang tagusan, tanggap ko ng kamalasan ay nakaabang. Again, it sounds like this such a negative, wording from our guy, but you have to understand again, this is coming from the corrupted version of our guy right here. So this prisons are the prisons that held SB19, in which they are storytelling to us na kailangan nilang pagdaanan, they have to free from. Next, please.
Tanggap ko ng kamalasan ay nag-aabang
Itawa sa aking mga mata ang mga bagay na hindi mo nakikita.
Okay, now we are introduced to the third reason, which is your identity, losing their identity for the image. Here, this represents SB19's losing their identity and authenticity to become someone the system or the industry is making them out to be. Maybe SB19 felt that the trajectory of their group and personal individuality are being poised as to something that does not align to their true self. So this is the conflict in authenticity within them. So this is obviously Snow White a reference, right? And the question the Queen that Snow White utters there is, mirror, a magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? So in this scenario, the answer to that is the one in the mirror, meaning yung totoong ikaw. And that is the answer SB19 knew all along. They have in their heart. It's being true to themselves and not the manufactured version that this system wanted them to be. You know what I mean? So this is also a subtle dig on the plastic surgery issue that haters throws at them over and over. Right now, they're not truly, handsome. They're ugly. That they're only a product of, operation, and that they are not being authentic and true to themselves. They're manipulating, or they're lying to people's face. That's not who they are. They're not comfortable with their skin. This is, this right here is their answer to that. They're confident and they are okay with their own skin. Also, in a bigger picture, as a group, because again, these prisons are not individual prisons for each member. It could also be that I would never know anymore. That's so personal. But as a group, SB19, this is also a representation of them losing identity with their recent yet resolved legal dispute, right? You guys know that very well. Losing their own name and logo, that was the dispute all about. So that's what it could also meant for them, losing their identity. So the dilemma here is that how would you feel and what would you do if being true to yourself and embracing your genuine identity might also mean that you're not that not everyone will like you. So that is going to be a dilemma, right? So, lyrics in here that supports that, he says, kita ba sa aking mga mata, mga bagay na hindi mo nakikita? So, kita ba sa aking mga mata? So, this is like cry for help. You know what I mean? If you read it like as a message from a friend, you know what I mean? Just take away the beat, take away the tune, just read it as it is. Kita ba sa aking mga mata, mga bagay na hindi mo nakikita? I mean, it's like a cry for help, and that's what they're trying to say in here. As they say, there's a saying that the eyes are the windows to the soul, or the mirrors to the soul. So they're saying, no obvious guys, that we are having this identity issue and crisis under this umbrella that we are in. So that is the third prison SB19 are going through, according to the story. Okay. So again, somehow, some way, this guy right here, our druid, our good-looking druid, or elf, uh, he looks like a druid to me, is the only one I don't, who has a little bit of sense, okay, of what's going on, their purpose, and where can they find the answer. So you guys for sure know them better. It must mean something. Why this guy kind of represents the person who is somehow like the compass, the moral and directional compass for the group. You know what I mean? Like holding on to the purpose, because that's what this tree is all about, right? Later you'll understand why the purpose. But I don't understand. Maybe on the personal level, you guys know why he is, that person that is, representing that in this story. Tell me in the comment section, please. All right, so we are now introduced to the fourth prison, which is this cave with the empty throne. So powerlessness is this prison. So here we can see an empty throne, which represents lost authority and powerlessness in medieval period, which is the obvious visual inspiration of the music video. As long as a king is seated on a throne, that means a kingdom is still intact. Pero when you find an empty throne, it means a leader or king himself has already fell and that the kingdom is fallen apart. So this is a very concerning image to see, a throne without a king. But there's a but. There is a teeny tiny ray of light shining towards the throne. That speaks that there is still hope, as you can see over here, right? Teeny tiny light shining towards the throne. Okay, so the dilemma in here in this fourth prison, how would you feel and what would you do if losing your authority means keeping all the abundance to yourself? Meaning, okay, let go of your authority, but all this wealth that we saw from the first prison, you get to keep that. Or if if you decide to, take over your authority back, it means that you're going against the entire system or the kingdom, and you are running the risk of losing all that you have, gained, which are the wealth earlier. What are you gonna do? Let's see what our heroes are going to do.
Ano pakiramdam? Ano pakiramdam? Bakit ba
There, did you see that? That is a pivotal moment. That frame. Can I let me just go back a little bit?
nagpakawalan sa katanungan? Ano pakiramdam? Ano pakiramdam?
There. She corrected me. I'm sorry.
Bakit ba nagkakawalan sa katanungan? Ano pakiramdam? Ano pakiramdam?
Air, finally. So this right here is the pivotal moment of this entire story visually, okay? Because earlier was all about darkness and negativity. The first minute and 50 seconds are all about negativity and darkness and prisons that our heroes or SB19 are, struggling with or going through or locked up into. And here, why I say that this is a pivotal moment, because this is going to be the start of how they will turn things around. Okay? Tingnan nyo.
Bakit ba nagkaganto? Ang daming tukso, bawat takbang laging may gulo. Pagkamalas, ba't ba di ko galing tumakbo? Dito lang ako, kasalanan ko lahat ng
We can see all our heroes, right? Locked up, struggling, can't even free themselves. Keyword, free themselves. Let's go.
nahumpay sa paggusto. Hero no two scenes, I'm all ears with two hands. Wag nyo kung hamunin, hirap ka susunugin. Yeah, that's a bliss, cause I'm the great, the best. Pessimists and y'all cannot contest. Gracious don't examine, not the famous. Gospel, but this never ends.
See, I told you earlier, right? It's going to be the pivotal moment because you can see how the corruption bled out to the people already with our Snow White, guy, the dark Snow White guy, whispering to the people, getting the wrong information or the wrong image of ideas, rather, wrong ideas of image of SB19, bleeding out to the people. So the people or the fans are being corrupted by that, which of course they do not want for themselves, right? So, ito na. Start.
Asan ba yung mga paa? Kung di naman kaya tumayong mag-isa. Paano hahawakan ang pangarap kung matutuwag ka lang sa bahay?
Here you go. So this is a pivotal moment. What earlier we saw that good looking druid trying to find something, which is a book, right? Somehow he can't find it in his library or in his room. It's not there. So I told you earlier this is a pivotal moment because earlier we saw him back to the same cave and a ray of light was on his eyes, right? Uh, Hinahirapan pa nga tayong ibalik-balik. So part of his face was, shone by that light, which speaks of the hope that he sees or revelation he found in that situation. That imprisonment, he saw something, a glimpse of hope, what he would do. And it was him, right? It was him who took the initiative because the druid can only guide, right? Why so? Because this guy is the leader of the group, right? I mean, presumably so, obviously, with how the story is going. It cannot be the druid because I believe, okay, I can only assume, guys, correct me, that in reality, the druid is not the leader, but this guy. So if the druid was the one who found the answer, then it takes away the important role of the leader, represented in this story. So he cannot find the answer or the book in that library. But this thing right here is what's going to turn things around because with that interaction, with that revelation he has when that ray of light shone through his eyes, he saw that he has not completely lost his authority and that he can still lead. That's why earlier we saw him from that cave. He went on top of a mountain, facing or looking the entirety of the kingdom, right? And then the bad version of the Snow White corrupting the people, and then the other good looking guy on the stairs about to like confront the people with his sword, and him, the leader, is the one who stopped it, right? He stopped it. All right. So this scene right here, this frame represented he just has to take back his position and embrace back his full authority as the leader of the group. Because all this time it's there. It's just waiting for him to act on it. Siya lang yung nawala. So this is a very good emphasis on the story and the role he plays. As we can see among all the four kings, he is the only one who is not locked up and is the only one who can move freely using his powers freely as well. Right? Kasi he is the one in position to lead them back to freedom. Diba? Yung good-looking Super Saiyan can perform his magic or his power inside that gold room. Of course, our Snow White is completely entrapped. His soul is entrapped in the mirror. The other guy, man, is still still the stairs, right? And the druid, man, he can't find the answer, right? He is lost too. The key positioning of the story, real and in this, he is the leader. So the weight of decision and authority lies on his shoulder. He has to make that decision. That's why, again, he has not lost all the authority. He can still move right freely. Siya lang yung kayang lumipat-lipat, right? Ng scene. All the three guys are locked up to their scene where they are. Man, I just want to say before I know it's 20 minutes already, but I just want to say how masterful and cinematic the storytelling in here is, man. Because if you look back to it, even if we turn off the music, we can still follow the story and what's happening here. You know what I mean, right? Like everything is perfectly measured. Yung pagkaka-line up ng struggles and yung mga prisons that we talked about, excuse me, the progression of it is perfectly placed. Like the first one, which is riches and wealth. So that is what the story that they're saying or stitching in here that they were flooded with wealth, right? Or material wealth. And now to avoid the fear of losing it all, what was forced into them is like to tirelessly work to keep the prominence of being number one because they might lose it. And in doing that, tirelessly working to be number one, and to keep that, in turn, they are losing their self. They are losing their identity. You know what I mean? Which ultimately takes away all your authority in yourself and in your life or as a group if you keep walking through that path. Imagine it was perfectly lined up. Because what will happen is that you are now just going if you continue in that path, you're just gonna be a puppet of the system. Kasi nga, it all started out like the fear of losing all that you have gained, yung wealth that you have amassed. Man, I'm just blown away how detailed and purposeful everything in here. Not even talking about the obvious part, of course, how good and world class this music video is. Now look what will happen when he takes back his throne.
Paano mo bubakasan ng di sinimulan? Mananatili kang walang alam sa takiram. Bakit ba nagkaganto?
Right. So what happened is now when he assumingly took back his authority or the throne, we see that there is a massive earthquake that followed. Now, uh, that that taking back of authority moment can be interpreted as what they have done recently with the legal dispute that they went through as they now take full control over their brand. Glory to God. Solidifying their independence as a group. Again, keyword independence equals freedom. Now it all makes sense with the imprisonment theme, right? So there is something that's going on that Probably you guys know that I do not know, but right, it just all makes sense. Independence of freedom, because these are exact word they have dun sa Dungka na music video. And then the theme, imprisonment. So we can also assume that the throne is a visual representation of the position this leader now takes as the CEO of 1Z Entertainment. Guys, I also read a little, a couple of days. I did my own research din naman. Yeah, sa inyo eh. Because I know very little. I can't get their names right. At least I get some key references and reviews. See, so now the earthquake represents the shaky and unstable grounds the group has to stand on or weather along with their supporters during the legal dispute. Because reading through it, as I saw, it was about, uh, uh, I mean, it was about them losing completely their name and logo, which is again the identity earlier. Right? Yun pala yun, yung isa sa mga key or major na pinaglalaban ng SB19 with that legal dispute. Damn. So, see, even the earthquake has meaning.
Bawat hakbang laging may gulo Pagkamalas
Ba't ko galing tumakbo? Dito lang ako.
There you go. So now, the book earlier I told you is going to play a key component of how these guys are going to overcome. So the book represents wisdom, guidance, and of course, the group's destiny. This book right here holds the destiny of SB19 or these people or our heroes. As an old saying goes, we write our own stories in destiny. Kaya siya book. And it emerges from the pile of gold. Dahil for SB19, just like with how it turned out their legal dispute, their destiny is what they consider to be their most valuable treasure. Yung kanilang totoong identity, which is found in that. Because your identity and your destiny or purpose are two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin po yan. Kaya may kita nyo mamaya. Dito nila may kita ulit yung kanilang identity, who they really are, and yung purpose nila.
Kasalanan kong lahat ng to. Nahumpay sa paggusto.
See, see, this is a visual representation na panghahawakan nila, pinanghahawakan nila yung nandito sa book na ito, which is again their identity and their purpose, or why they are doing what they're doing. This also directly relates sa mga naging steps nila following the ownership of their brand. See, this is who they are, right? This is their purpose. This is their identity. See? So the Raven, I believe this is the power nung leader nila eh, 'di ba? Earlier, yung mga Raven, they're trying to break this glass and then hindi ma-break, 'di ba? Nakita niyo yun earlier. A Raven also tried to break this glass or the mirror, pero Snow White or good-looking Snow White can't break out. Why? Then this time around, it broke because they already took hold of the book which holds their identity and their purpose. Kaya nakalaya na si Snow White. Again, guys, please don't get offended, okay? I just do not know their name. But this is a good looking Snow White, man.
Ang lahat ay may dahilan.
Nadurog yung fake image.
Huwag ka na. Sige lang sa paghapang.
So, man, this is a good representation of, when you go through it, when you embrace your true identity, man, expect to, go through brokenness, shards of broken glass. So it is important, that you have the right people when you embrace your true identity, because not everybody's going to love you, not everybody's going to accept you. But when you have the right people, which the group himself, me, this good looking, um, I, this is a knight, right? I believe he's the one to stairs. He, it is the right people that can lift you up, the right people, not those who are only there for their own benefit. So that right there, sorry. So this right here, this circular shape table represents the idea that all knights are equal and that no one is superior in rank. This is a reference to King Arthur's round table. So meaning walang mas. Even though he's the leader, he is the guiding compass. The druid is the guiding compass of the group. This guy, this, what I mean, walang mas. Everybody's equal and this is, I believe, the identity or the culture that SB19 is holding onto, that they are, you have to look at them as a unit, as a group, not this part, not the leader, not this part, but they are represented as a group. They are SB19 as a whole, which is a good because again, um this is the common challenge to boy bands, right? Or groups, which was the same reason why, unfortunately, One Direction broke apart, right? Because this guy is supposed to be greater, and why is this guy the leader and all? The SB19, it's not their issue, it's not their culture. They are there as a group, as one. So there you go. By the way, yung four, ano yan, it's also a good representation of four kings. Yung four kings, ano yan? Um, northeast, southwest, okay? And the elements. Ano yan, yung fire, water, earth, and wind. Yeah. That's why yung other guy there, yung druid, hindi siya knight, right? Just the four of these guys. The Snow White, I believe he is dressed as his, own self, yung kanyang pagiging kingship. There you go. Aww. So this frame before that going here is yung stripping away all the corrupt is representation of them stripping away all that corrupted them and dressing up with all plain white garments. So this represents purification that they went through. So as they start a new chapter, kumbaga, this is starting fresh. They're not going to be carrying out anything luggage from the past, but what we should be expecting is brand new. So this right here, a frame that shows that the old SB19 is gone, and we are entering a new era, which is rooted to their identity, who they really are, and their purpose, and not who the system wanted them to be and tried them to be. It's like dying to oneself. Na nag na makikita natin maya-maya what's gonna happen when they die to their self. Yung purpose, makikita natin yung purpose nila because that tree represents their purpose as a group.
Bakit ba nagkaganto? Ang daming tukso, bawat hakbang laging may gulo. Pagka malas, ako di ko galing tumakbo. Dito lang ako, kasalanan ko lahat ng to. Langupay sa paggusto.
Anong pakiramdam? Anong pakiramdam?
Anong pakiramdam?
Anong pakiramdam?
The visuals are crazy. So here, as you can see, dying to oneself, nagbunga na yung sacrifices nila, which is to enrich. At the end of the day, that is the purpose that they have, to enrich the people, doing what they are doing for the people and not for their personal gains, which connects dun sa poster nila, dun sa Dungka music video na nakalagay, sining ang sandata sa kulturang mapagpalaya, freedom. So the answer to what freed them is simple: remembering who they are and kanilang and yung kanilang why. Remembering their identity, who they are, and walking towards their purpose. Yeah. So to them, just like we said dun sa Dungka music video, this time they're doubling down in assurance that SB19 is by the people and for the people. As we can see, nung namatay sila, right? And then, sorry, for the word. They turn to stone, and then the tree of life, begins to glow up and all that. That is also the time that the people were able to what to penetrate, to go through the the gate, because they were able to, number one, overcome their individual presence inside. Kasi nga, earlier I told you that force field represents the central problem of the group. Now, when they were able to overcome or get out of the prison they're in, that force field also weakened, nabasag, nawala. And then that's also the reason why the people were able to go through. Nakita mo? Kasi nakalaya na yung SB19 from whatever prison them before. I'm not gonna name names, probably the previous management. And that is central to what it meant when yung mga tao nakalapit na doon sa tree or the kanilang purpose, which is accessibility. That's what it meant. Ang assurance ng SB19 this time around is accessibility ng mga tao to SB19's brand and product. Meaning this time the fans can expect that what SB19 is going to produce is, number one, something that truly their own. Hindi kung anong sabi ng management for them to produce. And we can expect that we will see their DNA, their heart, their soul to the songs or to their produce. And number two, it is what the fans crave for. And this is not just what the management thinks is trendy to make money. No, it is for the people. Right. So they are here to enrich the industry and not for personal gain. So the entirety of the story speaks to many, if not all levels, right? Yung kwento. Because this right here, I can see is that nagkukwento yung SB19 to us. Ano nga bang mga nangyari? Because all of us, right? I mean, if especially if you're a fan, you would have the question, ano nga bang nangyari? What happened? What's going on? And these are the behind the scenes that we have very little knowledge about. Probably you guys know, but and this is their answer. Ito na yung kwento nila. Ano nga bang nangyari in the past? Why are they now, why are we all now entering in this new era or new season with them in charge? So ito yun, parang nag-share sila sa atin. Not parang, nag-share talaga sila sa atin. So the entire, this story also speaks in many, if not all levels, your personal, right? Social, political, and all specific industry, because this prisons also happen personal level, social, political, other industries. So sometimes ang message na nakita ko in here is that sometimes we build our own kingdom for our own benefits, or there are people who build their own kingdom for their personal gains, not fully understanding that what we have is the entire garden, which is designed, right? Because that's the beginning. Yun yung pinaka first frame, the garden, which is the garden is designed to be shared with everyone, coexisting with everyone, nurturing each other. Hindi lang po yan sa management, sa industry, but also the people around, right? Mga haters and mga galit sa hip-hop. Just kidding. Di ba? Inaangkin nila and they just wanted everything for their own personal gain. So, my personal take on this one, man, sobrang honest itong song about their own vulnerabilities, how they choose to overcome that, and the struggle they went through to show the people that you can. If they can, you also can. And genuine honesty is what the people love about them, which now I understand because again, I told you guys I know very little about them, but going through just two music videos and this new era, oof, man, I feel like I am seeing the best version of SB19 kasi opening yourself to this extent on this level can sometimes be harmful to your own career or stature, especially if you are on this level. But what they wanted is they're not worried about it because what they wanted is to establish a genuine and honest relationship with their fans and supporters. So props how much of a support and fire all the SB19 fans you guys brought to SB19, because if not of you guys, they would have not been freed from that corrupt system reflected on this video, which I can guarantee you that's correct. Accurate statement po yan. Explain ko sa inyo mamaya that you guys are the ones that made it happen. Do you know that? That you guys are the ones that made it happen? Yun po yung punto ng song. Yung never ending na support and cries and love ng mga tao sa gate. Right? Yun po. Though they were restricted, it reached to them to the point that that they gained the courage to break free from what imprisoned them, for the people that were crying outside. See, so now it makes sense to me, yung Dungka, because they're in the main antagonist there is the corrupt politics of the industry. Um, it's always SB19 is always for the people and not for their own. Always for the greater good, inspiring new artists, generations to come in every way possible. They wanted to become the beacon of hope and spark the fire of inspiration for the people of this generation, while everybody else is, trying to acclaim, I'm the goat, I'm the best, kami yung ganito, kami yung ganyan, and all that. Them, it should be all of us. You know what I mean? Let us help nurture, bring the right attention and spotlight to everyone that you know that deserves it. So far the theme I'm seeing evidently is starting a revolution of freedom in music, art, and culture. So two music videos that I review, and that SB19's true kingdom is not measured by material wealth or chart topping success, but the authenticity of their music, their crafts, their art, and the people, the relationship they have with the people beside them, the atin. That is their true wealth and their kingdom. So let's continue to stand beside them, support them in every way possible, and be one with them in expanding this kingdom globally. Thank you guys. I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you for all the support, the subscription. I love you all. Help me uh, get this to more people. And I I'm looking forward to see more of you guys in here. I love you all. Peace